Live from the lavatory, welcome to the Close Traffic Podcast, an aviation and flight simulation show. Welcome aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Closed Traffic Podcast, an aviation and flight simulation show. I'm Johnny, and along with me here in the first officer seat, Charlie. Charlie, say hello to the people, my friend.
Man, first officer, it's more like the flight attendant seat back there behind the cockpit.
No, bro, more like captain, man, because I'm like no in no shape to fly right now.
I'm the dude that sits beside the emergency door in case stuff goes bad.
I'm like in no shape to fly right now. So
yeah, you got 8 hours, bro.
Yes, sir. Minimum.
Oh, what's up, people? Welcome back. Good to see you all. It's been a hot minute for me, man. Life.
Yeah, dude. It's been a heck of a Q1, man.
Phew. Lord. You 2 and 3 ain't looking much better, bro.
Yeah. Nevertheless, good old Mike sends his regards. He's actually Netflixing and chilling right now. So yeah, totally put your business
It's
out
kind
there,
of
Mike.
a CTP special.
Yeah,
for the moment.
Yeah. Just so long as it's not the 18th episode of Air Disasters, because it's starting to get dry now. Because I don't even think they've renewed season 18 or something of Air Disasters.
They're getting up there, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of it's kind of the same outcome, but it's not like a plot twist. Anyway, we got that. All right, so this was kind of impromptu, right? So I didn't have any plans of streaming today because it's Father's Day. Oh, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Hope you guys aren't doing absolutely nothing. I hope you guys are taking it easy today and hanging out and barbecuing, whatever you're doing, just as long as it's not labor intensive and it's something you want to do. So
absolutely. That's what I've done. What have you done?
Oh my gosh, man. Absolutely freaking nothing.
Wasted the whole day.
Man. I just turned on my computer after filling away because of a recent news article I just seen. I don't know, man. I'm a little bummed out about it. I'm not gonna lie, and we'll get to it here in a minute, but let's get some housekeeping items out of the way, guys. Flight Sim Expo is right around the corner. Unfortunately, between work and work, we won't be able to attend, unfortunately, but I believe we are planning on of course doing some coverage, latest releases, things like that, press releases, things like that. So
absolutely,
stay tuned. Looking forward to it. I know there's going to be quite a bit of a turnout. I think it's everyone is projecting it to be considerably bigger than last year. So
yeah, I think I saw like the announcement portion is like 4 hours or something another.
What'd you say? What was that?
The announcement portion, I think, it's like 4 hours long or something like that. I saw
4 hours.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of announcements coming.
Wow. Kind of brings back the old days of church, man. It's got those.
Preacher still preaching. You done lost your job and everything.
Drooling, bro. Yeah, it's like Monday you're fired and everything, bro. But no, it should be awesome. Lord forgive me. But
absolutely.
Yeah, man. But no, so the real reason why we jumped on today, more specifically, Charlie and I, we're pretty avid fans of the Boeing 757, and For whatever reason, you know, I can't really, and this is just coming from a consumer perspective, but I've yet to really grasp the rationale behind, um, as to why we have so few iterations of the 757. Aside from the fact that the 320 cells and 737 cells and all these other Airbus sell,
it's true.
We got Flight Factor, we got the Flight Factor 757, and what else we got, Charlie?
That's about it, ain't it? As far as the 75.
Captain Sam had a 757 years ago, man. Years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that was for like FSX or something like that. I think I even remember buying that one, if I'm not mistaken. But anywho, never like the 757 is a very underserved model in the industry. And of course, we're eventually we all lose hope until here comes this company, Bluebird Simulations, and
gave us hope.
I'm not gonna lie, as when we first started to see renderings, I'm on board. And I'm not a proponent for like early access or Kickstarter. But if they did a Kickstarter, Charlie, I know Dope would have been that clown. Like let me just put my clown mask on, dude, because I've been like, hey, like, what do you how much you're asking for? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I really, really want this thing to succeed. It looks absolutely amazing. But I think throughout all this, I think one begs the question, is it best to give too much information to the community or too little information to the community? And let me drill down a little bit, as far as the question is concerned. Do we as a community prefer the every week getting an update saying, hey, we've finished the 3D renderings, we finished the modeling, this is coming, we're still 2 decades away, but hey, it's coming,
Here's a picture of the toilet seat.
Yeah, are we looking for that, or are we looking for a developer that a month out from release, hey guys, boom, this is coming?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is it too much or too little between those two comparisons? And I think this is where I find myself at. It's like, we just get just saw a news article here. Shout out to msfsaddons.com regarding to some, and it's actually, I mean, it's welcome news to an extent. It's basically Bluebird Simulations announces price for 757, details development, and as far as their roadmap moving forward, which I could have swore we got that not too long ago. But they also release pricing information, which is, by the way, $80, and that includes the Dash 200 and 300 variants with all the engine options. Which pricing, hey, you won't hear a gripe from me. I'm totally cool
because that's right on par. I mean,
that's about on par.
Yeah, what was it? I looked it up. PMDG, the 777, I think, was $77. For the 200, 300 was 75. The freighter is 55. 7, 7, and 8 were $69.99. So I mean, it's right there at $10. I mean, $10-15 more. It's right on par with everybody else. So I get the pricing. I actually probably think you get a little more than you would say with PMDG, because those are only single aircraft. You're getting 200 and 300 and engines. So
yep.
To me, the pricing structure's fine. That's not my issue with it.
Yeah, I have, especially 200, 300, which, they're all getting thoroughly sent for now, which I don't know by the time this sucker drops, man. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
The choice of real world routing might be a hair slim.
Yeah, they're starting to move them at Delta, man.
However, Charlie, a little pointing finger emoji. I don't see a freighter version mentioned anywhere. Do you see that?
I didn't see that. That was kind of a wonk moment.
Maybe. Yeah, no, because they emphasize the passenger version, and which kind of, I don't know, it kind of brings up another gripe. And guys, let's be clear. I am 100% behind this developer. I am probably their biggest fan.
Never bought the product, but we're their biggest fan.
Not a day in my life, bro, have I bought any of their products, but I am their biggest fan. Why? Because they've taken on the challenge of doing the 757. So let's just be clear on that. However, I believe, in my humble opinion, I think the communication frequency needs to be adjusted a bit, as well as the expectations. Because as I go through some of the article and some of the articles I've seen from other news outlets, it seems as if they get the question, when is it released? When is it going to be out? And a lot of that, and I think I have a little bit of experience with this, being in, on the software side of things, my role, in the healthcare realm, we get that all the time, with timelines, setting up project plans, project creep, things like that. The client or the customer is always wondering, when is it going to be out? When am I going to get my product, or when am I going to get my service? That's a question that any consumer is going to ask, right?
Yep.
It's important, and I tell this, and I tell this to people all the time. Even my real world role, you have to set realistic expectations. Even though in the back of your mind, you want to do something, sometimes it's best to keep it on the back burner, until you have something tangible there. You have something that I know, hey, we're on the road to this thing coming out here in the near future. And we're talking about perhaps maybe within a quarter. I think, and in my mind, that's when we start needing to have those conversations about, marketing, communicating, things like that. Not 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I understand the passion behind the product. Like you feel this, you feel their energy. When they're talking about the 757, when they're, explaining, all of the complexities behind the systems and what they're looking to do.
Yeah.
But, I found, more specifically in this community, sometimes, you got to give the consumer just enough, not too much, but just enough. Because the problem is when you give them too much, the freaking expectations are up here, but your project timeline is like right here. You know what I'm saying?
You're dragging behind what you're actually saying from the mouth.
And sometimes your communications can get way ahead of your project.
Yeah.
Because what we're reading here, in my mind, if everything goes according to plan, I mean everything, Charlie, we might see this thing in December.
Yeah, that's kind of, I was honestly expecting the first of next year.
If not the first of next year. And see, you and I understand this. You and I understand the complexity. But if you're talking to my 9-year-old son who's playing this on his Xbox. They don't care anything about that. All they know is they're seeing screenshots, they're seeing news, and they're going to jump in your Discord, blow it the heck up, wondering when's it out.
Yep.
So you can't be surprised when you mention all this. You drop these videos, you drop these updates,
like it's coming out really soon.
And exactly, like as if it's coming out next month, and you're flabbergasted as to why. People are in your DMs about it. Of course they are.
Yeah.
You have to set realistic expectations, and a lot of developers get that. My our good friends over at PMDG, man, they just do their own thing. You say, no, we're going to write these guys a dissertation. By the time they get midway, they're going to get sick of hearing about it, and they're not even going to care. So, that's old Roberts.
Yeah.
I kid. But because I'm reading here, Xbox and marketplace versions are planned, which is a huge subset of the user base, but will come several months after initial PC release.
Yeah, so several months. Let's put it in perspective, man. Say this thing don't drop till, I don't know, February 26th. You're talking several months. So you're a year away from right now for Xbox and marketplace. And there's a lot of people that use the marketplace now.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them. I started it, and then when I had to switch to Steam and I couldn't get the stuff that I'd purchased from the Xbox store, I was like, I'm going straight to Sim Market, I wherever I can get it. That I can have it somewhere else. But a lot of people, especially on Xbox, don't have those options.
Nope.
But you're telling these folks here, look at all these wonderful pictures, but hey, sorry. I mean, we're speculating, of course.
Sure.
But from reading that, and then you say several months in quotations, it's like, man, that thing ain't gonna be on an Xbox till this time next year.
Yep. Because I'm reading this, and in my mind, I'm trying to discern. Okay, where are they at right now, as it stands now? Where are they at right now in the project?
To me, they're middle. They're middle of the way.
And they hadn't even got the FMS crack, Charlie.
Yeah, that's what ticked me off when I saw it.
That's a huge proponent in the project. I mean, it's the 757 is a very complex airplane, but it's all it's all relays and contactors. Very little solid state logic is happening there. So it's complex as it is.
It's wires and relays.
It's we're not talking like a 350.
It's not fly by wire. No, hey,
right.
No.
So, when they're telling me they're at the stage that, they're still working on the FMS, which, and I quote, Bluebird says, FMS remains the biggest blocker to progress despite solid development on, of course, it's courtesy of msfsaddons.com. Bluebird says FMS remains the biggest blocker to progress despite solid development on other systems. Building the FMS from scratch is time consuming. The team openly acknowledges this and attributes the delay not to lack of talent, but to time constraints, as many team members are part-time contributors. Which again, so let's rewind back to FS Expo Houston. We were getting content and updates back then.
2 years ago. Almost to the T.
2 years ago. Now, I understand between now and then, I think they end up revamping some things, some things of that nature or whatever, which again, also, attributes to the project creep. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to say, I remember at one point they were mentioning that they ended up redoing, a few aspects of the logic or whatnot.
And the modeling, didn't they like completely redo the modeling or
something like that, and
it's been so long now, I can't remember.
Yeah, and they were even showcasing, and community family, please keep me honest. I want to even say they're even talking about like a 787.
So yeah,
And
they tease
we're not even midway in the project with the 75. We're not even talking about the 76, which is apparently supposed to be coming after this aircraft.
Yeah, and they showed some pictures of it in this article.
You have to temper your expectations. You have to. On top of your half of your team being part-time contributors, I wouldn't and as far as what I wouldn't have said crap about 787.
No.
Or 767 for that matter.
No, I wouldn't either.
You know, sometimes we make the bed that we have to lie in. So again, if we're wondering why people are in our Discords blowing up about why things aren't where they're at, like some Expo Houston, I mean, I rest my case. I'm sorry, Charles. What you got, man?
No, man, you're spot on. And it's like, I could understand to a developer standpoint of teasing a product, but it's hard to tease a product when the product you're trying to push out first isn't even nowhere around. You know what I mean? Like it just don't make a lot of sense to me. I know if it was me myself, I wouldn't say a word. I would be like, hey, here's an update, maybe update every couple of months. This is where I'm at here. Here's a little blip, 4 or 5 months later. Hey guys, it's been quiet, but we're really hammering down. We're focused in on this thing. Here's a blip. And then boom, hey, we're ready for beta, Like, here we go. Give me some beta testers. Let's see what this thing can do. That's just me. But I think where a problem lies is when you start talking too much, it could end up biting you in the rear end. And I kind of feel like that's where we're heading.
Yep, spot on, man. And it's me, Charlie. I'm an old Southern boy, man. And I
remember, that's me, bro. I call it like it is.
I remember the old folks. I remember the old folks used to say, or the old people used to say, man, it's best to move in silence.
Absolutely.
And I think this is probably one of those cases.
The PMDG is great at that.
I mean, they just
and it's only no reason.
And I give them, don't get me wrong, we give
PMDG,
we give
them up a road, bro.
Man, we give it to them, man, because I love them, and I say that because PMDG got me in aviation, so I just Robert is just I watch a lot of his videos, man, and are they perfect? No. Is there do they have issues, things like it? No. But when I purchase a PMDG product, I have the comfort and the reassurance that at some point or another, it's going to be the best rendition of whatever it is that's going to be available for any flight sim.
Yep.
That's just what it is.
And as soon as you install it, you got no issues.
No issues, man. No issues. Now, I've been hearing, which, we'll dive in that too a little bit, 757-300, dropped last week, and some people feel away, but I don't know. Truthfully, I hadn't even flown it, man, because I was like,
I don't have the 300.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You're like, nah, man, I'm gonna pass on it.
No,
but
I got the freighter and the 2. I didn't.
Yeah, nah, man. I picked it up. I just hadn't had the opportunity to send it because Nintendo Switch 2 dropped.
Oh Lord,
Mario Kart's been.
I ain't getting
but whatever.
I ain't pre-ordered.
So what happened? What happened? Anyway, I'll get to that. So, but I think Bluebird is going in the right direction. I hear they're going to be showcasing some more of the airplane at Flight Sim Expo. So if you guys are going, please send them our love. Looking forward to this aircraft. It's not going to be vaporware. I think I've seen that too. Oh, no, it's going to be vaporware. Troll. I'm trolling. Troll. It's not. But yeah, they're gonna have a full spread out there at Expo. And they're going to be handing out shirts and apparently a Gemini Jets Delta 757 diecast that can't talk. 757 diecast model. Hopefully it's a dash 300. Send it. Okay. AKA Gemini Jets Northwest old Northwest Airlines 757.
Because that was what did this say that was a giveaway or something they're doing?
Yeah, like giveaway or something like that, man. But
yeah,
I don't know, bro.
The things ain't cheap, bro. I was looking at something the other day. It's like, God, I
know, bro.
I ain't paying $300 for this little thing.
And man, I got kids, dude. So like one of them, like my youngest is already like borderline toward my MD. Like I got a little MD88. And get up to the camera there. But yeah, Liam is already like had his,
man, put that in a sealed case, bro.
Yeah, and then you break it to get. Dude, man, kids are smart nowadays. I don't know. I don't know if it's the water or what, but they will. Man, they'll be 4 years old, Charlie. Get on YouTube, figure out how to like break open a vault or something, and like, you know what I mean? Like it's just crazy.
You have an Amazon package show up on the front porch. It is a daggum lock kit.
Lock kit. Dang, Slim Jim.
Jimmy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
See, Mike, this is what happens, man, when you leave us alone on the show. This is all your fault.
But little Liam, he's that guy cute, man. He do it. He just look at you and smile, just gone.
And there's nothing I can do. There's absolutely nothing I can do. And he knows it, man. So it's like, dang it.
Yeah, around his pinky, bro. Around the pinky.
Yeah, bro. That's why I can't get any, that's why I can't hardly get any kind of collectibles or anything, because like, because he already knocked that down. Like that book was like the F4 Phantom, but like they don't even make those anymore.
No, I got mine off eBay, bro.
Yeah, I had to buy it off of eBay because there was nowhere else to get it. And like, he already kind of climbed up there and he thought it was like a coloring book, and off the thing it went. But I don't know. I need to get a display case or something. I don't know, guys. Those of you who have kids in the community, if you guys have any ideas of like further kid proof stuff, let me know. Because
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know, man. That's it, bro. But yeah, so it should be pretty sweet, I don't want to come off, and I know sometimes on the show we're tough on developers, but if it was the developer we really didn't feel strongly about or really didn't believe in, we wouldn't even mention them on the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Trust me, I had like 900 other things I'd rather do on a Sunday evening at 7:50 Central.
Yeah,
then get on here and not so much rant, but I wanted to open a dialogue about this, because I'm wondering where, and what do you guys think? Those of you who are listening to the podcast version of this, post it on the what's that Spotify? Yeah, I think there's a way you can provide feedback. I think we left it open. Yeah. Just guys, give us some feedback. What do you guys think? Do you guys like, wanting updates every week, every quarter, every month? Like, where do you guys find yourself in the update, category? That's all I'm wondering. I think a lot of developers have. Yeah, because I think I find myself kind of midway. It's like, I'm cool with the quarter.
That would be me, man. That would definitely be me.
The quarter.
Because it's kind of like, when the copies go out the 2 or 3 days before the product drops, and it's like by the time you can get your hands on it, it's like, damn, I don't even want this thing now. I'm sick of seeing it. It's done been sent from here to everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you can
LAX to Las Vegas, man.
Yeah, LAX to Vegas.
First look.
Yeah, first look. Real captain. Nah. Nah, I'm just kidding, man. But seriously, I do think that you can get like
Fatigue, just kind of
fatigued from it if you see it and hear about it so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a few of them out there, man. I was like super hyped for the release. I'm like, man, day one, boom, boom, boom. But that 3 weeks prior to it'd be you're inundated with like,
oh yeah,
YouTubes of like, first look, second look. And
every other reel you see is of it.
Oh my gosh. And heaven forbid if you're on the shorts, man, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I get it. And don't let it be a situation to where said individual isn't well versed in the aircraft, and then they they completely muck it up, and it's just like, dang, I don't even know if I want this.
Because you got that part of it too, man. The real world pilots that can get in there and know it backwards, forwards, left, right, sideways, and then they go through something normal, and then it's like, oh, this button's not working. That's oops. They kind of need to fix that. You know what I'm saying? And then that gets you thinking, man, you've been working on this for 5 years, and a real pilot here that don't even work. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very fine line you got to tread with this thing.
I've seen that too, man. Matter of fact, there's a 737-500. I want to say it's coming out for X-Plane. They're working on it for X-Plane, or maybe for 20. I forget, man, because I've seen 737-500. Bro, I'm completely checked out of 737s. I'm sick of them.
Yeah.
So I don't love them. I'm sick of them. But it was the one that like you pay by the month, or you can
CSS or whatever.
You can pay monthly. So I guess they dropped it to a bunch of content creators, and then of course you have the uninitiated who get their hands on. They're like, oh yeah, this is great. But then you get you had a couple of individuals who were like, yeah, this is completely broken, and they ended up pushing back the release. And I'm just like, okay, riddle me this, Batman. Where's y'all's beta team?
Yeah,
what are y'all doing?
The part I don't understand.
Are we even beta testing? I was gonna say betaing, like if that's the thing.
Betaing.
Are we even betaing this thing? Like,
yeah.
Are we actually performing the act of betaing?
Exactly.
Don't pay me any mind, but like it's
then of course they say, yeah, we done it for 3 months. Well, how did you miss this?
Like, what we're doing, we're just sending it because
landing gear don't even come up. That's kind of important.
Yeah, but I think I forget what content creator it was. But yeah, they had some legit issues, and I think it was like performance related. But anyway, anywho, they ended up delaying the release, but you can't help as a consumer to feel a certain type of way, like
especially when you pay a monthly for it.
Yeah, but I think I want to say you pay like $120 or something like that, Charlie. You can get the whole shebang, and you ain't got.
Oh, really? I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I think it's like an option.
Dang, that's expensive.
Yeah, $120, man. But I want to say you get like a bunch of different variants. You get like 757, a freighter or something. But again, when I tell you, Charlie, I am
my man cooked.
cooked, bro. Like I'm just burnt out on like narrow bodies in general. Truth be told, Charlie, I'm just man. And there's nothing against the aircrafts themselves. It's just, and I don't know if the rest
or the developers, to be honest,
or developers, man. It's just like
if you've seen one, you've seen them all.
You've seen them all. Yeah, but again, I wish Bluebird the best of luck. I think they're on the track to when it does finally drop, it's going to be a banger. I hope they have learned from other hope they learn from other releases, and
we say that to everybody.
The infrastructure necessary to support and sustain a day one release of this magnitude, because there are a lot of I don't care what anyone says, Charlie, people will be here for this release.
Oh yeah,
I don't care what anyone says. Like this no puns intended, this is gonna fly off the shelves, no pun intended. But or like the price is right when we say something stupid.
Oh, Bob Barker.
Oh, Bob, man.
Oh, Bob.
but yeah, yeah, it's definitely gonna turn some heads, man. That's no doubts about that. But trying to think of anything else on this one, guys, and again, it's gonna be legit. Anything from a simmer standpoint that we would care about, it's gonna have. I mean, 48 relays, and I guarantee you, you ask any simmer who's spent years, being a fan of the 757, how many relays the spoilers have, and they couldn't freaking tell you. I'm pretty sure there's some 757 drivers who drove the gosh darn thing. You'll ask them, hey, and you'll get this, man. Like, you'll get simmers like asking real world pilots, like, yeah, how many, like something as intricate as that, like, how many relays is it? Like, I don't freaking know. Like,
I didn't build the thing, son. I fly it.
I got my type and I'm sending it. Like, that's all I know. But nah, it's just it's gonna have everything we're gonna be looking for.
That's why we got that little book in between us right down there. It'll tell us.
Old QRH, man.
Yeah, but we just gotta get to it before we crash.
Oh, good lord, yeah. But gosh, Charlie.
That's true. That's true though, man. It's like, how does one, like, a lot of people don't think of that. There is no way. I ain't gonna say no way, because there's a lot of smart people who are pilots. But want to retain, like, this relay goes to this wire to this bus, which controls this, like, for every single, just look around a cockpit.
Well, truthfully, man, I don't know how they do it now, but for like when you go to your type ratings, it's about at that level.
Is it really?
Yeah, when you're doing systems, man, like, it's important to know, like the different like, not so much to like the relay level. I'm a nerd, so like I'm here for it.
See, that's me though. I think of it like at a mechanic standpoint.
Yeah, like
if I'm a pilot, I'm a mechanic mind.
Learning the different buses, man, and what controls what, and okay, so the EEC can do this, but in my brain, dude, I'm wondering what voltage it sees for it to even activate. Is it a 24 volt DC system, or is it what I'm saying?
That's me.
Okay, we got a rectifier here, so then, like, what are we rectifying? It's like, I was always weird. I was always weird like that when I went for I was going to like type ratings, and even when I was working for my private, dude, like like the Cessna 172, dude. I was here for it. Seminole, I was here for, like, I'm a systems guy. Like, I love systems.
Yeah, you like systems.
But a lot of that, truthfully, you'll get to a point, you get past the type and you get on the line, or you start your job, and some of that stuff you hardly ever use, man. But
some of it I'm sure you learn by experiencing it.
Yeah, because a lot of especially understanding, like, what can and can't be, what redundancies you have, the different buses, and the isolations, load shedding, what you will lose, what you have if you lose this, what I'm saying?
It's a lot of info.
That's all important, and it is a lot of info, but at the same time, when you're constantly exposed to it, and that's your day to day, eventually you'll be surprised what you're able to regurgitate. And then you have the QRH as well, and they're formatted in such a way to where, unless you run into the most unlikelies, about pretty much everything one would typically see is covered in the QRH. So but as far as the simmers, like, it's just funny, and I say that because back when we were in Expo, I don't think we even told this story. I'm gonna tell it now because I just it's Father's Day, so I can do what I want.
That's right.
But we were at Expo. I think it was the end of the day, Charlie.
Yeah.
And we seen this guy. clearly he, you can tell a a member of the flight crew when it's their, first trip of the day, when it's their last trip of the day.
Yeah,
The guy
brother,
looked a little disheveled. I'm just saying.
brother
So,
was
so the
wore
shirt
out.
collar was a little open. I'm just saying. There's some wrinkles there. I'm just saying. There's a little ring around the collar. I'm just saying. So, Buddy was going to the hotel room to chill out. So hey, how's it going? Whatever. But he stopped. He's like, man, what's going on there? You guys, oh, yeah, we just had that flight to Mexico. Oh, cool, flight to Mexico. Oh, cool. And naturally, we're all just like, everybody's wondering, I'm thinking Southwest, but I'm like, well, his, when you looked at his wings, it wasn't like Southwest wings.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
we're like, man, what you driving? It's like, oh, it's what was up? And I always screw this name up. Is it because that's so awful when I say it's like a prater.
Yeah, it's spelled funny, man. It's a weird spelling, but yeah, it was a prater, bro.
Yeah, we're like, whoa.
I don't remember the exact one, but it was let me look.
Yeah, I forget what variant was. I forget, man. Heck, I didn't even. And what's so bad about it? It was so new. I didn't even know it was a thing. I'm like, what?
It's one of the most complex or electrically complex.
Yeah, I'm like, what's a
Prater 600?
Yeah, I'm like, what's that? But yeah, we just kind of got in a little bit of a conversation, and this random guy, guy from Expo, and we say like, 'cause he had the Expo badge or whatever. He just kind of gets up there and just like
right in the middle, man, just like,
yeah, just like, boop, just where'd he come from,
bro? You're in my bubble here,
bro. I thought he was a creeper until I seen the badge. I'm like, okay, he's one of us or whatever. And then I forget the question he asked, man, but it was just some direct system related. How many something? It was some systems related question that I'm just like, if he remembers that, he has to be like a check airman or something.
Yeah.
And the guy looked at him like, oh, no, I don't know. I just fly the thing. Just kind of, brushed it off nonchalantly. But we're just like,
bro, get up
like,
here.
What are you doing, man? Like, this
dude probably just had a 15-hour day, and you over here asking him what relay on bus 29 is that feeds this circuit breaker to the essential bus alpha.
It's 24 volts BDC gets stepped down to 5 volts BDC to this. Oh, dude, man, get up out of here, bro.
It's got 14 resistors, 3 amplifiers, and 4 rectifiers. It's like, bro.
Oh my gosh, man.
Back, man.
But yeah, the look on him, man, I was just like, I won't have that for you right now off the dome. But I don't even know how we got to this point, Charlie. But
but golly,
it was just funny, man. Just damn thing. You think the guy just like, it was just odd, man. And that's another thing, CTP family. Don't be weird. Like, don't do that.
Just walk up to old buddy and be like,
how'd it go, Charlie? Lord. Oh my Lord. But yeah, no, it's it was fantastic, man. Now hopefully
and he was a young guy too, bro. What do you say?
Yeah, young dude. Yeah, like 22, 23. Yeah, man. He was young, man. It was super cool. He gave us a little bit of a gave her some of his story or whatnot. And to me, I think that's what makes Flight Sim Expo great. And I think that's why it's like exploding the way it is, because this guy came to us like we were talking about something. Because I'm,
we saw the shirt, bro.
You look at Buddy, man. I'm like, dude, I'm not, like, hey, how's it going? Whatever, you're not, acknowledge him or whatever. I know that's how we do it in the South. You're always kind of speak when you make eye contact. But
how you doing, darling?
Yeah, and be on your way. But he stopped, man. He was like, man, what's going on over here or whatever. And that's how I thought it was cool, man. And it's like, check you guys out or whatnot. And start getting, who knows, man, maybe maybe he's he's
Might be flying the A350 now. Who knows?
Yeah, LAS to Las Vegas, man. Or,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, man.
Denver to Salt Lake.
Oh Lord. In Sim. But but no, man, I'm sure that guy, man. I don't know, Charlie. If you're sending an aircraft of that level of sophistication, with truthfully, unless you are in a 350, man, I hate her. Man, I hate her. Man, like that technologically, man, that makes the 320 look like a freaking sewing machine.
Oh man, might look like a 757.
Yeah, dude. Man, do we have any drums or anything?
Oh Lord, don't get it started where you can't stop it now.
I know. Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, I guess what would it be? It'd be the Praetor, and then you'd have the Globals. Would be the most,
man. No, and then the
what would you say, technologically advanced?
Gulfstreams. Those Gulfstreams.
Or the Gulfstreams, yeah. Gulfstreams and Globals.
And Globals, man. They're dude. I want to say Dassault. Excuse me, that newer Dassault. I think that thing's a side stick driven bird now too.
Oh, for real? I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
Man, them things are darn legit. Well, no one will touch these things in the sim, so we don't see them. But I think the Dassault, which there's a developer. Oh, I think this thing's vaporware at this point. There's a developer over on the X-Plane side. Oh, they did the why is my brain going blank? I think I know why my brain's going
it's
blank.
It's the grandpappy.
Oh man.
Homemade, what was it you had? What did the missus cook, oh Johnny?
Oh my gosh, man. So my Father's Day dinner. So
we completely thick.
I was miserable. So we completely wore our Blackstone. And when we went, and with those of you who aren't familiar with what a Blackstone is, it's an outdoor griddle. So it's propane fired outdoor griddle. And we have a big family, so we used it for everything: breakfast, smash burgers, fried rice, stuff like that. Love fried rice. And oh my gosh, man! So we just completely wore old
with the onion.
Oh man, that's why I kept telling Sidge, man. I'm like, you need to get your little chef's hat and like a bocce or whatever, man. Oh my god!
I tried to flip it, but stabbed my egg fly everywhere.
Egg all on your face.
I was over here eating the rice I dropped on the floor.
It's made a slap mess, man.
Man, mess. It was fun though.
But no, they're a blast, man. But we completely wore ours out, and my wife, she bought a new one, and so we got it seasoned up and everything yesterday or whatever, and took it out, and so Father's Day or whatnot, like, again, I love shrimp fried rice. I love fried rice. And so she did a homemade orange chicken, and when I mean homemade, I mean like she juiced the oranges, used some of the orange zest for the salt for the sauce. She cut up the chicken, she breaded it, fried it.
She didn't use the girls in the backyard now, did she?
Man, there's still four of them.
Okay. I'm to say, man.
But, it was so funny because when she went outside, they all went back in their coop. It was because we let them free range during the day, and when they saw her, they kind of looked up and scuttled back to their coop. And it's so funny, man, because they're huge now, and they're like little bowling balls when they're running.
Yeah. They're funny. Buffs, man. They're funny.
Yeah, they're like little golden bowling balls, man. It's hilarious. But so yeah, she did that.
Oh my gosh, it's Melanie. You seen that gif, man? A little turkey comes around and he opens the oven and he's like, "Oh my gosh, it's Melanie."
Dude, that was probably their exact like response, man. Because I like kind of looked high, and then like the biggest one, because it seems like the bigger one like always follows like everyone follows the biggest one, the biggest chicken, and chickens, y'all. And so like when she starts running, like everybody else are like, wait, we need to go. And so she kind of looked like it's so funny, man. But anywho, so she did that. She did that, some Mongolian beef. Ooh. And some fried rice, man, and OMG.
The yum sauce too?
Huh? So she didn't do it hibachi style.
Oh, okay.
But
so
we bought some. Now that she's made it, but we put yum sauce. I put yum sauce.
I love that. Oh, man, I could drink that stuff out of the bottle.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh, man. So it's like, yeah. So I don't even know how we got to this, but like what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, we're terrible. See, Mike, it's all your fault.
That's why it says Father's Day fun.
Exactly. Because we're just like, what were we talking about? The
Dassault Falcon.
Dassault Falcon. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of who Aerobasque.
Really?
So
they were doing
they were working on one, man, but
they got that Phenom, in X-Plane.
Yeah, and it's she's solid, man. But they were working on a Falcon, and I don't know if it was an issue with Dassault, because they were working with Dassault on this one. Like that's how legit it was going to be. And I don't know what fell through first. I don't know if there were some development issues or what, but it's been put on hold. But now it's funny because I'm scrolling through the forums, and this is how thirsty people are for a freaking Dassault Falcon.
Yeah, ain't one, man.
There ain't one. Someone went through SimBrief, Charlie, and seen that someone put in a profile for a Dassault Falcon 8X is what it is. I'll drop it in the chat. Yeah. And someone's like, something is cooking. This was back in May 10th.
Of this year?
Yeah, this was recent. Mach 0.85. Good gosh, man. Oh, if he drops that.
Tri-engines. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. But yeah. So yeah, man, there are some which that kind of puts us in a whole nother topic as well. Man, there's just and thankfully, our good friends over at Flight FX, they're cooking on a few business jets as well. I think this is probably Mike's wheelhouse because we're talking about things with a whole lot of screens and technology and displays. I was kidding. Love you, Mike. But yeah, man, I don't know what happened to it, but man, those aircraft there, when you start talking like the Praetor, I'm kidding. And aircraft of that level, man, technologically, they're more advanced than some of the aircraft you see on your day to day, like Sierra J, heck, even the E-Jet, man, like the Gulfstream, absolutely insane. The level of automation that's built into the aircraft, man. It's like I don't know. It's not. Speaking of business aircraft, man, Charlie, the Starship next week, bro.
Oh,
Thursday. Yep.
Day one.
What kind of question is that?
What kind of question is that?
Yeah. Man, day one for me, bro.
Man.
Day one. Yeah, and I'll say this, Charlie.
They released a price yet? Have you seen a price?
Yes, it is. Oh, drum roll,
I think you told me.
please.
I forgot. $60 or something?
Yeah. 54.99 US. And there's like 39 euros or something like that. 39.44. 39.99 euros, whatever. Which in my opinion isn't bad. I think I did
No,
see,
not for what
where,
he's got going on in that thing. Holy
yeah,
smokes.
I think there were some folks who were like, oh, it's a little pricey. Man, um, watch some of the video, and I like how Black Square did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a situation to where we were inundated with, and I'm not taking anything from my content creators, but wasn't a situation of being inundated by, a billion content creators.
Running point to
Me,
point.
yeah, me being a systems guy, I love learning about the airplane in which I'm simulating in sim, and having a walkthrough of various aspects of said soon to be released aircraft, to me is freaking gold. It's like getting a manual before the manual is even dropped, even though Black Square normally drops their manual pre-release. So you can already get to doing your homework. You can get prepared prior to this thing even dropping. And I just love that,
think it's like
because
180 pages or something. It's
yeah,
huge.
dude, it's a thick. It's
Yeah.
thick. It's juicy, man. I love it. And and in my opinion, I like it from a perspective of it saves you time, because if you go in, you have time, you do your homework. When by the time the thing drops, boom, you're ready to go. I love that, and I I wish we'd see more of that,
Yeah.
rather than
Just
like,
the
hey,
manuals, man, does a
yeah,
lot.
for sure.
Show me what I need to set up so I can already start processing. Okay, I installed it. Do this next. That. You know what I'm saying?
man, absolutely.
To minimize your oopses and your this ain't working and
Yeah, absolutely. Like this, to me, I think this is just enough communication, because, of course, I think he did like maybe like the monthly updates or whatever or whatnot, or maybe semi monthly. And then, about 10 days out from release, we got a release reveal 2 weeks ago. 10 days ago, he start boom. Hey, let's talk about airframe and dynamics. 9 days ago, boom, tablet interface and fuel. And then 8 days ago, boom, avionics. 7 days ago, boom, flight planning. And they're not super long videos.
no 10-15
Just
minutes.
yeah, drinking coffee. I'm, watching one of the videos that talks about the avionics cooling, talks about Omega and VLH. I mean, talk Omega and VLF with no GPS navigation.
Yeah.
Say you're old without saying you're old, Johnny. And I think just like 13 hours ago is a sound preview, and that's. I mean, I'm cool with that. To me, that's just enough communication to, set the expectations. Hey, it's pretty close, right? And I think more developers should maybe kind of take a few cues from how Just Flight does their I guess height building, so to speak. Because I've seen them do it with the RJ. What happened, Charlie? You good?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're in.
I guess Bluebird got mad at me or something. I don't know. All I heard was a doo-doo, and then it was gone.
Oh man. But no, Troy, you didn't miss much, man. I was just kind of touching on the Starship and how awesome this thing's gonna be, man. It's gonna be a day one for you.
Oh yeah, man. I'm excited for it. For one, it's gonna be the first T prop in 24.
Is it? No, really? Wait a minute. What else?
Native.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's
Not one
true.
of the conversions. Like, I think it's supposed to be straight up native. So
Yeah.
that I'm excited for.
Yeah. What do you feel that what Black Square is offering with this aircraft is something that is it because I hear this sometimes from from the community as it relates to Black Square. Does it seem like it's too much, Charlie? You know, is the
As far as
nuances
like too
and the
complex,
complexities? Yeah, are the complexities going to be too much to, I guess, put a bad taste to your mouth? Like, damn, I'm not going to be able to enjoy it because the thing's freaking too dang complex.
that's a fine line because from a person who obviously isn't a real world pilot or have experience, that is a fine line because it can be overwhelming, man. You get into something like that where they're talking about, oh, this thing uses 3 types of this to triangulate its position, and it's like, hell, I can't fly no VOR. Like, I could tune it in, but like to actually do it correctly and the way it's supposed to be done, I have no clue.
Well,
that kind of stuff, I could see where folks would be like, yeah, maybe it is a little more than I can chew.
Yeah.
That's why he put a 430 in the back of the pedestal.
Yeah, and to me, I think this is why I've always just been a huge fan of Black Square's aircraft. Is that he encompasses all skill levels, you know, and for me, I mean, like I remember seeing aircraft with the Omega systems decommissioned, still installed in the panel. Yeah. I remember, the examiner I had for my PPL, I believe. Yeah. Because his name was, what was it? Yeah. He was French. He sticks out in my mind because he was originally from France. And I remember because some of this stuff was still, in some of our literature that we studied, and he talked about Omega and how how much of a game changer it was. And in my mind, when when VORs and NDBs and all that was still a thing, and then you're learning about Omega and VLF, you're like, holy smokes, is that going to take over? Is it going to be a reemergence of it? Because like during my time, like GPS was around, because like 430s and all that, KLN 94 and all that, but it wasn't just like especially like RNAV approaches, what I'm saying? It wasn't
RNAV SIDS, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and all that was still just very in its infancy. But Omegas at that time still just hadn't completely gone away. There's a lot of them that were there were a lot of aircraft that I remember hearing that had that equipment that were decommissioned that weren't using it. But it's interesting to see the Starship and to see that a lot of the aircraft that are still flying still has some of this gear in it. To me, it's just fascinating, man. Like I love hearing and learning about different methods of navigation that were used prior to your Garmin pilots and your 4 flights and your GT and 750s, your 650s, your GNS whatevers, I mean, it's just, to me, it's just cool, like the very low frequency antennas, that the Starship utilizes. To me, it just, outside of simming, just learning like the history of it and how it works, like I love it. However, I can also see how that may not be much of a thing to, some people.
Yeah.
But
especially younger folks, that are into simming and they know how to use your GTNs and your 430s, I could see why they would be like, meh. And I could, I ain't going to say that I wouldn't be more towards that side than like the VLF side. I mean, I will try it and try to make myself learn it. Just because, I mean, if you think about it, with GPS and all the stuff today, that's where it came from. Like all this stuff, stair-stepped on stuff that was in this thing.
And what I think is just absolutely amazing is that Black Square, and I don't know the developer's name, and man, I would love to get him on the show. So if you're hearing this, we'd love to get you on the show. But
drop us a line. Come on down.
Yeah. How he was able to explain, how basically a lot of those technologies essentially took multiple sources of navigation. It took your VORs, it took, GPS, like other means of other navigational sources to figure out where the heck it's at in space, in 3-dimensional space. And it's just, to me, that's so cool. So, like, if you guys have time, look up VLF navigation. I mean, it's insane, and then like taking it back to days of old, when that was like the only way to navigate before GPS was truly a thing, and when the VORs were even in their infancy. I don't know. I just think that's amazing. Nerd alert. But yeah, it's gonna be a huge release, man. I'm definitely here for it. It's funny because you really don't hear a lot of people talking about it. But I think it's probably going to be one of the more impactful releases of this year. I truly believe that.
Everything he's done to it, my Lord.
Oh my gosh, man. Do you think?
And it just looks freaking cool, man.
Oh gosh.
It's ugly, but it's so cool. Like
it's the Burt Rutan design, man. And he has those waves, man. I've seen a long easy.
A baby Concorde with nose wings.
Have you heard of the long easy, Charlie?
Oh man.
Is that like a
early 2000s, late 90s, man? There's this gentleman named Burt Rutan, and you know Burt Rutan because my man sports the chops. Even to this day, I think he still sports the chops. And everyone was envious of the chops, and a lot of these aircraft designs are based on the chop. I was kidding. I just posted a link there in the chat, man. But
I have seen this.
He incorporates a lot of composites in his aircraft, hence his company Scale Composites. And one of the aircrafts that he designed was what was called the Long Easy. And when I think of the Starship, I think of the Long Easy.
Oh, it looks just like it, except it's
just like it. Yeah. And I mean, it's just so ahead of its time. And that's when you ask a lot of aviation historians as it relates to the Beechcraft Starship, they say that, when people ask, why it failed, a lot of them venture to say that, perhaps, the aircraft was just too ahead of its time. Because this thing,
they took 2 of these and flew around the world in 80 nights.
Did they? Heck, I didn't even know that.
That's what it says. In 97, Dick Rutan and Mike Melville flew in convoy around the world in 2 Rutan Long Easy aircraft that they had built. This, in quotations, around the world in 80 nights, in quotations, flight was called the Spirit of EA Friendship World Tour, and some of the legs of it lasted over 14 hours.
Good gosh.
How, man? What do you do? Just hang it out the window if you gotta go potty? Like, man, 14 hours in that thing? Holy crap.
Oh my gosh,
man was famished by the time they hit the dirt.
Famished, bro. Cause you imagine like
14 hours
forgetting you have butt cheeks, bro. Like they're gone. Like, I can't feel the lower half of my body.
What driving something for 14 hours is like, especially daggum tractors getting beat all to death. But goodness gracious, bro. At least I'd stop and jump out for half a minute.
Right, man. Stop by the Circle K or something, man.
Yeah. Pine tree over here. Like,
oh man,
14 hours. What's the top speed of this thing, man? It can't
I'm
be
curious. Let's see.
258. Well, let's see. Twin easy.
Oh yeah, twin.
Sorry, we're nerding out. CTP family.
Nerd alert. Yeah.
Long ESA, 258
horsepower
horsepower electric engine conversion.
Yeah, there are all kinds of conversions, man. They did a pulse. They did one that was powered by a pulse detonation engine.
Oh, this was that Chip Yates guy. He achieved 202.6 miles an hour in level flight in 2000.
Oh, good grief. Did
with electric motor on one of them.
Oh, good grief. Yeah, man, this guy, like I said, man, Burt Rutan, he revolutionized aerospace, in my opinion.
Lycoming 0235 flat 4, 115 horse. 185 mile an hour.
Service ceiling 27,000. Freaking range, man. Look at that range of that thing.
2,000 miles.
Good gosh, man. 2,000 that thing. Wheesh.
Cruise speed 144 at 40% power, man. That thing sipped fuel.
Oh yeah, bro. But like I said, composite design, man. And like you mentioned, when you look at it, it looks very similar to the Starship, and that's where a lot of the design from the Starship came from. And
dang, that thing only weighs 710 pounds.
Yeah, when they, in fact, the nose gear, I've seen them, man, in real world. That nose gear is movable, and a lot of the guys, like when they're pushing them back, they just lift them up on the front and just push them.
Just push them on the back two wheels.
Yeah. I mean, they're crazy light, bro. Crazy light.
You and me, and that's how much that thing weighs.
You know, but it's just, I don't know, man. I'm just a little, you guys know me, a little quirky aircraft like this. I'm just super excited for. Lately it's been pretty quiet though. I haven't really seen a whole lot as relates to aircraft releases. I know the Max did recently drop. It dropped last week. Flight One finally dropped it for 2024. And I don't know. What's your thoughts on it, Charlie? I don't know.
Well, twofold. They did stress that, this was a very crude conversion until Sobo and them get some stuff fixed where they can actually go to work on it.
Of course.
I didn't have any problems with it. And I was in SU3 beta. Problem with that was my performance in the SU3 beta was so horrendous. I had to roll back to SU2 SU2, the release candidate version, but I have not tried it in it, but I'm pretty sure it's only compatible with SU3. I feel like I read that somewhere, but I was going to try it because then I read an article. It was like, yeah, this might not work. This might work, but you should be able to get point A to point B.
Oh, okay.
So,
which I did. I think I got from, I did what I did. Yeah, man.
I did. Oh, that's what it was. I actually flew it twice in SU3.
Did you?
I did. Love to Atlanta, Southwest, got on the Star in Atlanta, switched to VR, was going along fine, and then my headset went black, so I clicked to get out of VR, and then it wouldn't ever switch back out of VR.
Gotcha.
On the sim side, and I was like 15 miles from touchdown.
I've had that happen. I've had that happen.
So then I was like, you know what? So I tried it again a little later and completed the flight, no issues. and it flew. I honestly thought it flew a little bit better in 24 than 2020.
Yeah,
my auto throttle was not wonky like it was in 2020. I don't know. A lot of people didn't have that issue, but my auto throttles were wonky in 2020.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I think the one thing I've been really impressed with 2024, Charlie, man, that gosh darn weather, man, it's just slaps for me. The storms, and I've always had this point of contention with 2020. I didn't feel storms punished you for flying.
Yeah, you flew through it, and it's just like,
yeah, you know, whatever, man. Yeah, like lately we've just been getting hammered with storms, and I did a flight from DFW to New Orleans yesterday, and bro, I was in the I was in the Max, right? And I was just kind of curious. Normally I try to either, you know, run an offset parallel if there's something, you know, if there's
you sim real world procedures.
You know, if there's something in the way or whatnot, you know, weather, any kind of weather phenomenon or whatnot. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna, you know, screw it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was just kind of curious because I've been really digging the Lightning in SU3. Fly through this thing. Yeah, we're shooting. Oh, I forgot what approach I was shooting in New Orleans. There was interesting. But no, it was my son. It's like, Dad, I found a snake near the fence. Oh, okay. Is it dead? Yeah. You know how it goes. Chickens.
Protect them chickens.
Yep. But where was I going with this, Charlie?
Clouds.
Yes. So I was on approach, and there's a storm, like literally right at the initial. I was like, screw it, I was gonna full send through it. And man, when I tell you my vertical speed was like it's 3,000-4,000 foot per minute.
Really?
Foot per minute, yeah. And
holy crap.
And I got bounced around for a little bit, came up, then she finally started getting back in the green again. I got out of it, and it's like boom, all of a sudden the rain hit. It was legit, man. It was legit. Really? Like to me, it's getting to that point where you're truly punished for not taking that alternate, or you know,
trying to deviating
court. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm here for it. I mean, that's great.
That's awesome.
I'm really impressed with it so far. I hadn't even tried. I know At the Sky did just recently.
Yeah, I've been running At the Sky.
Oh really?
But I haven't flew through any storms. I do feel the turbulence is a lot better, and I don't know if that's Sim Update 2 or Active Sky, because I kind of did them roughly at the same time.
Gotcha.
And I honestly don't know why. Yeah, I do know why. I was trying to get my weather to sync up better with, say, intentions, because it was driving me bonkers. Have everything set up, METAR saying land runway 26 in Atlanta, and you get there like, oh, you're running on 8 left. And it's like, bro, I'm already on the star on the south side northbound. I'm about to like parallel Atlanta, and then like no X
no. Like no.
But then I found some settings and where you can sync, say, intentions up to Active Sky or VATSIM, and that seems to have helped. So I was going to do it today, but I didn't. But I want to try the default weather again.
It treats you.
See what it's doing. But that's interesting. But the turbulence, man, it's definitely, because I was watching the wing and that Max, man, that sucker was was bumping.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wasn't even in a storm, you know. I was over like the top of them, and there was some, you can definitely tell the thermodynamics were in play.
Wow. Yeah, that's I mean, it's She's coming around, man. Because heck, I still can't get into 2020 like I used to, man. I don't know what's going on with it. I
don't even have it. It's off my rig. She's gone.
Oh, that's right. Really?
Yep. I took it off.
Gone.
I was sick of fighting all this airport is compatible and this airport's compatible and that one ain't. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. This is where it's going. I'm just going to nip it now. So I did. I deleted 2020.
Wow. Well, give her a old salute, man.
I did. I made a video and everything. It's like she's been a good old girl.
I could trade in the old pickup for last time,
man. 87 with 350 for a 2016 with a 27.
Oh, good Lord, man.
Twin turbo though. Twin turbo.
Well, $1,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
28,000 down. Yeesh. That's a whole nother podcast in itself there.
Oh, a whole nother podcast in itself, man.
But man, it's definitely getting there. I still think a lot of the devs are waiting on a Sobo to start porting.
Yeah, and that's how it was in 2020, man. You know, just like it was a moving target. It's like by the time they get it to like a release stage, you know, Sobo pushes update SU blah 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 and back to the drawing board.
Yep. So
yep. Even PMDG, they're dealing with the same thing. I think, and truth be told, I think that's what delayed the 777. I think they remember mentioning in one of his dissertations that that's what held up the Dash 300 or something like that.
Yeah, because they didn't do that one. See, the 200, he said in one of his videos, they kind of developed it with intentions of the 24 release, and they did not the 300. And I don't remember him specifying about the freighter. So that's why the 200 was just like, oh, bloop, here you go, you know. But I did remember him saying that they were having some issues with the 300 and that his favorite, what is it, the
DC6.
Yeah, DC.
Man, we're talking about his favorite because you said his favorite as if like, whatever. Man,
I couldn't remember if it was 8, 6, 2, 4, Ford tri-motor. I couldn't remember which one it was.
Or tri-motor with a GTN 750.
Yeah, what did I? Taking out the whole co-pilot glass, like
running from LAX to Las Vegas.
Take 4 days and 6 nights.
Get off this thing, Charles.
Man, my hat's off to those folks, though. Man, you think about the people that did it back in the day, and
stuff
they were sending. Man, I was
pioneers, like, bro, pioneers.
Not man. This boy, not this man.
Fabric, man. Have you ever seen a fabric winged aircraft?
Oh, I have.
Yeah,
there's actually a guy at my local airport's got one. It's a sport plane, but it's fabric. It's blue. He does sport training with it. So
dang.
Sports pilot's license. And I've looked into that. And he's got a Jabiru.
Jabiru. Was Australian joint, huh?
Yeah, he's got one of them. He does like privates in, but I'm like,
Man, there's a guy at Airfield, man. He has a I'll screw this name up all the time. Belacana or something like that.
Oh, Blanca,
yeah.
Blanca or something like that.
Yeah, man. Them things are fabric.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. And man, you touch that thing, kind of got a little give to it. You're like, man. But I say that
don't fall.
I say that, man. They're pretty robust, man. They've been sending them things for 100 years.
Yeah.
You know, there are some things maintenance wise that have to be done to keep them airworthy.
I'm good.
I was like, nah, I'm good.
Give me that aluminium. I'm fine.
Aluminium.
I don't want no Joanne fabric out there flapping around.
long as there ain't no crochet, man, I'm good.
Yeah, man.
I ain't make it work. No, as long as ain't something my grandma knitted, man, I'm all right.
That's right.
I'll send something. I'll send something.
Little Johnny, he's so cute.
Oh my Lord. Knit you a blanket and throw it on my wing and send it.
That's it. Make you the costume like in the Christmas story, the bunny costume.
Oh my Lord. I'm not wearing this.
No. Ralphie.
Oh dear Lord, man. He couldn't move. But anywho, but yeah, so one more thing I wanted to touch on. There was, and of course everyone knows by now, there was a pretty significant pretty big accident that happened, or incident, aircraft incident that happened last week. Thursday, man. My mind was blown. I mean, of course, any tragedy that ends in loss of life is all freaking awful. I think, but probably the thing that just completely blew me away was the fact that it was a 787 at that. And man, our of course, from everyone on the CTP crew, our thoughts and prayers are with those involved. As far as what everyone's saying, from what I've seen, the ram air turbine of the Rat was deployed.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. The guy I've seen, he had posted a video that was the original video, not the video of a phone, but the actual video from the person who took the video. And I finally saw the Rat, and I was like, "Oh snap!"
Yeah.
But I've seen the videos where you could hear it, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah,
I saw it this morning.
This morning, man, it was just like you kind of heard the kind of like a. I don't know.
Sound like a little T-prop. I mean, that's what it sounded like.
And man, I heard that. I was like, oh my Lord in heaven. So it's just, I mean, we no one has a preliminary. I think at this point it's just all purely speculation. So, but I did just want to mention that. Thoughts and prayers. There was one survivor. That's what I'm hearing.
Survivor, 11A.
Jeez, the same seat.
Yep, and 11A.
Wow.
Walked off of it. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's wow.
Because I wanted to look up what a 7.8, because I'm not familiar. What deploys the Rat on a 7.8? I know dual engine,
bro. Like,
so I know there's probably something else, like you got to lose this pump and that or something. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's other things where that thing will drop automatically.
Yeah, the Rat, because heck, the CRJ has the same thing.
Yeah, the first time I flew it, I've deployed that thing.
Oh, good Lord, Charlie.
Yeah, it was. I was like, "What is this button?" No, do you not remember that? I sent you a picture. I'm like,
"Oh yeah,
no power. I don't know what's going on." Like, your Rat's out. I was like, "What the hell's a rat?" he's like, "You see that little propeller looking thing? Yeah, that's what's supplying power for you right now." I was like, "Oh, well, how'd I get it up? You can't." Oh, alternate. We'll restart this one.
But, yeah, man, just gotta do that one, fam.
Yeah, but man,
yeah, that was. I mean, that low, it just, man, that I think that sent chills up my spine. So,
yeah, because everything was fine, and then it's like 10 seconds after it got off the ground, it was.
Good
if
Lord.
Even that long, it seemed like 10 seconds, but you see it climb, and then that was it.
Wow. Yeah. So I mean, again, thoughts and prayers with the families and whatnot. Yeah. That definitely wanted to mention it. I mean, as far as that goes, we'll as we get more information, we'll definitely circle back to it to just just have a let's have a discussion. Of course,
Yeah.
a lot of the policies and procedures that we follow now, are day to day, are written in blood, and of course, the part of being a continuous learner in the industry and in the hobby, depending on what side you're in, is taking these incidences and analyzing them, following the sequence of events that led to it, and instilling certain processes and or procedures to help mitigate
Exactly.
future incidences. So it's nothing where we relish in the loss of life. It's couldn't be further from the truth. It's gut wrenching to even have to talk about some of these incidences, but it's also important from a analytical perspective to look at these accidents or incidences, and learn from them, take those lessons, apply them in our day to day to continue to improve on aviation safety. So
Exactly.
that's all I got on that. Sheesh. Heck, man, we're supposed to be like 30 minutes, Charlie, and we're like already at an hour and 30, man. You got anything else for the people?
Man, everybody have fun at Expo. Hopefully we'll get to go to the next one.
Yep, for sure, man. As always, want to give a shout out to our Patreon backers. Once again, thank you guys for paying the bills and helping us stay going. Couldn't do it without you, for sure.
Absolutely.
Also want to give a shout out to our partners, our good friends over at EFS, good friends over at HPG, Steve. And I seen your guys' expo. So you guys got something cooking over there, man. Can't wait, Steve. Can't wait. So looking forward to that. And aside from that, make sure you guys, hope you guys got you're all booked up, ready to go for Expo, and be sure, show us a bunch of pictures or whatnot. And till next time, guys, take care of yourselves and each other. Sit.